Good morning friends. Today we will discuss the topic design of gear, in which we will only discuss the design of spur gears. Before we start, let us have a look on basic concept. You all are aware about these concepts, in which the first is the module, and the module is defined as the ratio of pitch circle diameter to the number of teeth. Then circular pitch, which is equal to your pi d by t, and d by t is equal to m, that's why pi m. Diametral pitch, which is equal to your t by d, and 1 upon d by t is equal to your 1 by m. Phi is the pressure angle. Then Tp, minimum number of teeth, on pinion to avoid undercut, and is given by twice AW upon G multiplied by under root of 1 plus 1 by G upon 1 by G plus 2 into sin square phi minus 1. This formula is used for finding the minimum number of the teeth on pinion to avoid the undercutting. The various values which we are using there, which D is the pitch circle diameter, T is the number of teeth, AW is the fraction of addendum, G is the gear ratio, which is also known as the velocity ratio, phi pressure angle. These are the various concepts. Now the next concept is the law of gearing. You all know that in case of a gear meshing, if the two gears are in meshing, then their pitch circle having a contact, which is known as the pitch point, and the common tangent and common normal pass through this pitch point. This is known as the common normal, and this is known as the common tangent. Then this angle is known as the phi pressure angle. And if we are considering the contact of the teeth, then if this is the teeth on wheel and this is the teeth on pinion, this is our gear G, and this is our pinion P, then this is the contact, and we know that the normal pass through this and a pitch point. It means this common normal pass through this and pitch point. And if we are considering the line of action of this gear, then if this is the line of action this gear and this is the line of action of this gear, then this point is considered for our design purpose. Let us assuming this point is the A, the intersection of this common normal and this line of action of this gear tooth. This concept is utilized in our spur gear designing. We have to design this tooth of the spur gear. Now using this concept, the design procedure having a first concept which is known as the beam strength. Of tooth, or it is also known as the Lewis equation. Lewis, assuming this teeth, if we are assuming this teeth in this fashion, this is our teeth, then this is the thickness, this point, and we are considering this A point, this is our A point, and through this A point common normal is passing. That's why this is the common normal. This is the line of action of this teeth, and if we are considering this teeth, then the Lewis assume that if we are assuming this point A, and then the weakest section can be found out by plotting a parabola from this point. If we are plotting a parabola from this point, then this is the parabola from this point, and from this parabola we can find out that at this C and B this parabola is tangent. That's why the weakest section is the BC is the weakest section. And on the basis of this weakest section, the Lewis defined an equation which is known as the Lewis equation. And the Lewis equation considers for which type of the wheel, whether we are using for this gear or whether we are using for this. That's why the Lewis only assume that if we are considering a transmission of load or a distribution of the load only a from single tooth, if we are considering that the total load is distributed by a single tooth, if the gear and pinion having a same tooth profile, but if any of them having a larger or smaller tooth profile, in this case the load distribution is not only through a single gear, but it is distributed amongst the several teeth. But practically, if we are considering that it is not safe to consider the load is distributed amongst the several teeth. That's why we are only considering, or Lewis is considering only a single tooth is transmit the full load, and if smaller and larger are used, in this case the Lewis assume that only a smaller section is your weakest section, and that's why if the larger wheel having a larger teeth and smaller wheel having a smaller teeth, then our weakest section is this pinion. That's why the Lewis is only using that the only load is distributed through a single tooth only. The single tooth is used, and that's why we are designing this single tooth. And for designing purpose, let us considering this single tooth is a beam or a cantilever beam. We know that this tooth is attached with the addendum. That's why if the load is acting on this tooth at this point, then this section is considered as a beam. If we are considering the load acting on this line, then the load acting on this line is the normal load, and having a two components. First component is the tangential load WT, and second component is on this radial direction, which is the radial load, and we also know that this angle is the pressure angle, because if the power is given to this pinion, then this pinion applied a tangential load in this direction only. That's why the tangential load is acting on this common normal. This is the tangential load. Sorry, normal load is acting on this. The normal load is acting on this, and the component of this normal is the tangential and radial loads. We can also calculate this radial load component. The radial load component is equals to your normal component multiplied by sin phi. This is the sin component, and Wt is equals to your normal component multiplied by the cos phi. This is the relationship between these two loads. Now the Lewis, assuming it as a cantilever beam, that's why considering a cantilever beam, a single tube is considered as a cantilever beam. Let us considering that as a cantilever beam. Then if you are considering it as a cantilever beam, then our diagram is this portion is your BC, and this is known as the thickness T. We are considering this thickness T, and if you are considering this A point and a parabolic curve is considered through this A, then the load acting on this is, this load is the Wt, this load is the Wn, and this load is the Wr. If you are considering the load, then the two component of this load Wn are acting, Wt tangential component and radial component. The tangential components provides a bending action in this tooth, and a radial component provides a compression or compressive failures. But this compressive failure is negligible. That's why we are only considering the bending failure or a beam strength due to this bending failure of the tooth. Now if you are considering the cross section of this is the cross section. If we are considering the cross section of this weakest section, this is the weakest section BC. We have identified that according to this parabola, this is the weakest of zone or weakest section. That's why the cross section at this weakest section is this is T, and this is the B, width or face width. If you are giving a 3D to this tooth, then this type of the three-dimensional diagram is there, and this is known as the width of the tooth. This is the B and T, and this is the axis, horizontal axis and vertical axis. And if you are considering that this horizontal axis is also considered as the neutral axis, passing through this x-axis, and this axis is your y-y axis. It means this is the cross section at BC, which is the weakest zone. Now applying bending equation, we know that from bending equation m upon I is equals to your sigma upon y. Now this sigma is considered as the working stress. If you are considering this y as a capital letter, then this is the capital Y, in which this m is the maximum bending moment, I is the minimum moment of inertia of cross section, working stress, and y is the distance of the outer layers from the neutral axis. Now from our figure, maximum bending moment is equals to your, due to the tangential component Wt is acting, and that is length is considered as, if you are considering that this length, then we can say this is also a tooth length, h is considered, and if this length is the h, then the maximum bending moment is your Wt into h at this weakest zone, Wt into h. Then I is the minimum moment of inertia of cross section. Now from this figure, if we find the value of x-axis, then it is the Bt cube upon 12, and value of y-axis, then it is the Tb cube upon 12. But we have to choose a minimum value. This is our minimum moment of inertia. That's why we are using this I, Bt cube upon 12, and this y, we know that the distance of the outer layers from the neutral axis, then this is the T by 2. By putting the value, we can calculate the working stress is equals to your m y upon I, by putting the value Wt into h into T by 2 divided by Bt cube upon 12. By solution, we can get Wt into h into 6 divided by Vt square. Working stress is equals to this. Then Wt is equals to your sigma w Bt square divided by 6h. Equation number first, we know that the value of this t and h depends on the tooth profile. Let us considering that this t is equals to your x into Pc, and this h is equals to your k into Pc, where x and k are constants. Then by putting the value, now Wt is equals to your sigma w into b into t square, x square, Pc square divided by 6 k Pc, cancelling out this w b into Pc x square upon 6k. Equation number second. Now let us assuming that this x square 6k is further a constant y, then by putting the value in this equation, this Wt is equals to your sigma w b Pc into y. This equation is known as the Lewis equation. Now the Lewis equation is used for finding out a tangential load carried by a weakest teeth. In this y is known as the Lewis factor or form factor. Now we know that this y is equals to your x square 6 by k, and if you are putting the value of this x, then t by Pc, then it is equals to your t square Pc square multiplied by 6 by putting the value of this k, then h by Pc, Pc cancel out, then the value is t square upon 6h Pc. It means the value of this Lewis factor depends on this tooth thickness, tooth length and circular pitch. The value of this y can be calculated analytically, or it can also be find out by the drawing of gear tooth. But for our numerically point of view, we can use the value of this y as 0.162 minus 0.684 upon t. This can be used for our design purpose, or we can also find out the value of this Lewis factor from design data books. This complete equation is used as a Lewis equation. It means this equation is the Lewis equations. Now in this Lewis equations, we have to calculate the value of this sigma w also. Then this sigma w is your working stress, and this working stress is given by a product of this static stress or allowable static stress multiplied by a velocity factor. Therefore sigma w is equals to your sigma naught into Cv, where this sigma naught is your allowable static stress. This can be calculated from the design data book, and the value of this Cv is velocity factor. This factor is included to consider the dynamic loading in our working stress. This value can be calculated by the help of these equations, where this v is the pitch line velocity and this pitch line velocity is your pi dn by 60. By the help of this equation, we can calculate the pitch line velocity. From this concept, we can use this Lewis equation for a weakest tooth. Now, for which we can use this Lewis equation, first is it is only used for pinion if material of pinion and gear is same, but if different material is there, then we have to find out the product of this sigma w into y or sigma naught into y, and the less value is considered. For example, if the less value of this product is for a gear, then we have to apply this Lewis equation for gear, and if the value of this product is less for a pinion, then we have to apply this equation for a pinion. In this product is also known as the strength factor. This factor is also termed as the strength factor. And if you are finding the module from this, then standard modules are used, and standard modules are 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 20, 25, 32, 40 and 50 in mm. If our module having in this range, then we are using. For example, if in your numerical solution the module is 8.6, then we are adopting the value of 8. If our value is 7, then we are adopting the 6. The standard module is chosen. This can also be chosen from the design data book. After calculation of this Lewis equation, there is also a requirement of calculations of further load, in which the next load is known as the dynamic tooth load. Theoretically, we have considered this dynamic situation in our Lewis equation, in which we are using the CV, velocity vector, which includes the theoretically the dynamic conditions. But if we are finding the experimentally or by various tests, then experimentally we can design this dynamic tooth load which equals to your, where this Wt is your steady transmitted load, this Wi is the incremental dynamic load, and this Wi is further calculated by an equation which is 21 V multiplied by B C plus Wt upon 21 V plus under root of BC plus Wt. By the help of this equation, we can calculate the dynamic tooth load. In this V is your pitch line velocity, B is your width, Wt is your steady transmitted load, and this steady transmitted load is without the service factor, and this C is your deformation factor. The value of this deformation factor can be calculated by the help of the design data book, or it can also be calculated by this equation, in which this K is the form factor, this E is your tooth error, and this is your Young's modulus, for pinion, and this is the Young's modulus for gear. We can also calculate the C by the help of this equation, or we can find out the value of this C by the help of this tooth error from the design data book. And design data book, tooth error can be calculated on the basis of the pitch line velocity. By having this value from design data book, on this value we can calculate this, or this tooth error can also be calculated on the basis of the module. After calculation of this pitch error from a table, we can calculate directly the deformation factors. From this, we can calculate the dynamic tooth loads. Next load is your static tooth load. Ws. This static tooth load is nothing. Lewis equation is used, but instead of the working stress, we are using the endurance stress or flexural stress. If you are using this, then the equation is this: into Pc into Y. The Lewis equation is used, and the working stress is replaced by sigma E, which is your endurance strength or flexural endurance limit. This can be calculated from design data book, and by putting the value in this we can calculate the static tooth loads. Next is your wear tooth load. This wear tooth load is the maximum load beared by the tooth without wearing, and mathematically it is given by diameter of the PCD of pinion multiplied by B multiplied by Q multiplied by Kn, where this Q is considered as the ratio factor, this Kn is considered as the load stress factor. We can calculate this by the help of an equation. Now this Q is mathematically given by twice into Vr upon Vr plus 1 velocity ratio, which is Tg by Tp, then it is equal to your twice Tg upon Tg plus Tp for external gearing, and if it is an internal gearing then twice Vr upon Vr minus 1 twice Tg upon Tg minus Tp for internal gearing. This Q can be calculated, and by putting the value we can calculate the wear tooth load. This Kl is equals to your sigma Es square multiplied by sin square alpha 1.4 1 upon Ep plus 1 upon Eg, in which this phi is the pressure angle, this sigma Es is the endurance limit, but endurance surface limits. This endurance surface limit can also be calculated by design data book, and by putting the value from design data book we can find out the value of this load stress factor. This E is the Young's modulus for pinion, Young's modulus for the gear. By the help of this we can calculate the wear tooth loads. Now in complete designing, if the value of this static load should be a greater than the dynamic load, second the value of this also should be greater than of the WD. It means the dynamic load factor should be less than the static load factor, and dynamic load should be less than the static load and wear loads. This is our design procedure. Now for designing, let us having a look of the design step. The first step is calculation of tangential load. It means this Wt, and we know that the Wt is equals to your power transmitted multiplied by pitch line velocity into As. If you are considering the power transmitted, then power transmitted is equals to your tangential load into d by 2, and from this equation we can calculate Wt is equals to P upon torque into omega, then P upon d by 2 into omega, then it is equals to your d by 2 omega is equals to your 2 pi n multiplied by this, then this is equals to your P by pi dn by 60, and this is your pitch line velocity. if we are considering that this torque transmitted is the minimum torque transmitted, then this is without considering the service factor. But if we are considering a service factor, then multiply by the service factor Ks. Multiply by the service factor Ks. It means this tangential load can be calculated by the help of this equation. This service factor can be calculated by the help of design data. Second is applying Lewis equation. And for applying the Lewis equation, firstly you have to find out the weakest section and then apply this sigma WB into PC into Y. In this WT is from here. By putting this value, we can calculate the width of the gear. After that, calculation of this WD, calculation of the WS, calculations of the WW, and then finally checking whether WS is greater than WD or WW is greater than WD. If this is satisfied, then our design is safe. This is the complete design procedure of a spare gear. Thank you.